On this episode of Not Rod, we mix things up a bit and help a friend start putting a wheeler back together and look back at some of the good, some of the bad, and ugly from some of our past off-road trips.
Shut her off!
Those that know me personally know that I got my start in the automotive world with off-road vehicles, namely this one. It's a 42 Willys MB that for all I know may have seen action overseas during World War II. I started building it from nothing but a frame when I was 14, fabricating everything myself from spring purchase to the motor mounts. After 5 years of grinding, saving, and scrounging parts, I was doing stuff like this.
Oh, man.
That oil pan you see right there is actually on the bottom of the 327 that now sits in the Nova. Well, I guess right there it's on the side of the 327. Anyway, for those interested, it has a Dana 44 rear end out of a postal Jeep, Dana 44 front end out of a 77 Scout that I shortened down 2 inches, transmission and transfer case from a 67 Chevy pickup, 15-inch bead locks, 33-inch TSLs, and what is now a fuel-injected 350 small block under the hood. Fast forward a few years, and here we are wheeling with our friend John. On this trip, his steering broke. On this trip, he rolled several tires off the bead. On this trip, he blew up 3 consecutive axles and barely made it back to camp on his last one.
Rear axle. Passenger side rear.
Look at that rototiller go. To be fair, we've all broken down on the trail at one point or another. It's generally a matter of time or else you're just not being daring enough. Fast forward to today and a few Not Rod videos later, and John wants to build a drag truck. But before he does, he wants to get this rig back on the trail. So to get things moving to promote both those goals, we've decided to head up and give him a hand with this project. The tube chassis has come off, and now it's getting a CJ5 body. The big thing on the agenda today is to get the engine in place. One of the objectives is to get the engine pushed back much further than it was to run a mechanical fan. We've all tried running electric fans at one point or another, and they've just never done well on the trail where you're hill climbing at high RPMs but relatively slow vehicle speeds. Especially with some of our rigs that are limited to radiators with exceptionally small coolant capacities relative to what our V8s came with from the factory. And with that, let the games begin. So this is John. We call him Woody, Woodpecker, or Peckerwood for short. Why do we call you that, John?
Last name's Woodruff, it just kind of goes with it.
All right. Anyway, today we're at his house, and we're checking out some of his projects.
Lots of projects. Lots of projects. I'm a single guy that chooses to play with mechanical things, and I guess women lately, because women don't make sense. At least these, when they break, you can fix them, right? You know? I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
That's totally going. you know 11,000 subscribers are going to see this, and probably a lot more now that we have such a bright, shining personality in the show.
It's the truth, though, dude. It really is. I mean, women are a hard thing to keep, how should we say it and be politically correct these days? Keep them happy, keep them going forward, yeah. Gotta keep them happy. I hear about my friends that are like, yeah, I just bought a new compound bow and I just ordered another one and my old lady's kicking my ass over it. And I'm like, well, did you order your wife a bow? Well, no. Well, there's your first mistake. You know, if you're into a hobby, you better get her into that hobby, then you can dump money into that hobby.
Well, and sad as it may be, you know what his goal in life is now? To beat me in my Nova, which, like, that shouldn't be too difficult for pretty much anything out there, but if you're setting your standards really low,
you never know.
Then,
the Nova this year might just be a good little ass kicker. I mean, you've done a lot of updates, and you're getting it dialed in, so I think your Nova will be a lot better than it was last year.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping for maybe high 12s, but we'll see.
Like the Tijuana.
Oh, is that going to be your gasser?
No. Not at no 3,700 pounds in hay. It's a factory Bel Air. I mean, yeah, it's a 4-door, but that just means I can go bar hopping with it, right? Dude, look at the dashboard in it. It's so immaculate, so beautiful. It's missing the knobs and that's it. It's, I mean, 1954 and the clock still works. No, it'll look cool on some nice wheels, small block. Lower it down, make it a cruiser.
I'm gonna put this on YouTube and go barn find. Nice little clickbait thumbnail. So that's gonna be the drag truck.
Yeah, so, but that truck's 2,700 pounds, Ryan. Stripped, we think we can get it down to about 22, 21 without a motor at trans.
This thing would make a sweet drag truck. Look how low it is right now, though.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The idea is I'm gonna be sitting back here. We're gonna move the motor back physically as far as we can, and then we'll tub it. But we wanna keep the farm truck canopy, we wanna keep that on. Weight transfer, you know?
Well, you got to.
Aerodynamics. Basically take all the air ride out of it. We're gonna put torsion bars back in the front and slap a rear clip on it. So this is all 1990s technology back here, people. This is how they used to do air ride in the day. Single switches. And the question is...
Not much.
No, not really much.
So we should be working on...
I gotta get back to this so we can get back to our roots, and then yeah, we'll slap, me and my buddies will have the drag truck slapped together as fast as we can to get down to the track at least once or twice this year. The Mazda will be a quick and easy one. I mean, we're gonna cut the firewall out, put the big block power glide in it, pick up like a 4,500 stall. I traded off a 53 GMC 5 window that had a bent frame. After building it, we found out it was bent, for a drag boat to get the motor, and then I got the 54 in the trade because I had to have something from the 50s. I wasn't giving something up from the 50s and not getting something back from the 50s.
Yeah.
Even though it's a Bel Air 4-door, who cares? Basically, we're gonna try to keep with era correct. I mean, it's an 86 Mazda. We're gonna build it like a 90s hot rod like I had when I was a kid street racing. I had a Chevy Love that was tubbed out, and it was a fast little truck. Today's standards, no, it probably wasn't fast. You know, it was a 12-second street truck. But in the 90s, 12 seconds was super respectable. I mean, the guys that were in the 10s, those guys had mortgaged their house 3 times to build the motors. But I can actually say that I was in the last bit of the Northwest street racing. I mean, right after probably 95, 96, it was pretty well shut down. I mean, the big kid racing. I'm talking 3 cars, 3 10-second cars side by side on Boeing Freeway at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, racing River Road where you got cornfields on both sides. There's a big Snohomish River right over here you could end up in, and you got cars, you know, you smell track bite, VT, pimp juice, whatever you want to call it these days, and burnt rubber and race fuel. And I mean, there wasn't nothing better than being an 18, 19-year-old kid and experiencing true American street racing. Getting the tub on there was awesome, dude. So how do you guys think I did that by myself? Battery's sitting here, mounted the winch here, and I just put some ramps and drug it up and drug the tub right up over the tires with some boards. You know, it did kind of the dump truck thing and came down on the cab, and it was like I was like, right, nice.
Hey.
They're easy to get off. They're a pain in the ass to get back on. It's 1963 Mercury 390. It's got 68 interceptor heads on it. It's built to the 63 spec, so it's right around a 400 horse motor if it was on headers with the right intake. Right now it's really muffled. It's got a big ass cam in it, way bigger than you'll ever need for wheeling. Way too much compression for wheeling. And then a 205 transfer case. It's the only factory really good bad boy transfer case out there. So I mean, in the Ford world, this right here is like the diamond. You know, having a 390 and having the 4-speed with a 205 in any Ford truck back in the late 70s, you were the cool kid on the block for sure. Same thing with these axles. They're out of a Snow Fighter, 79 Snow Fighter, so they're factory Dana 60s front and rear. So eventually it'll probably get gears and lockers in it, but right now it's welded up, been welded up for 15 years. If you do it right, they don't break. Take lots of time. I took 2 days to weld these pumpkins up, 1/4 inch at a time. Walk away from it. I've never had them break. They've been on there. Now I've broken axles. We all know that. Budget wheeling, you're out there to have fun. You don't need a $100,000 rock crawler to go out and have fun wheeling. You can take a $100 shit box and dump another couple $100 in it and go out and just have fun, beat it, play with it, break it, come back, rebuild it. That's the whole point of it. I don't know. I enjoy working on them. I think I enjoy working on them more than I do breaking them, because every time I break, and I really have broke in my life, and this wheeler has broken. This guy right here has been there to film it, and it ain't nice. He always makes a good point about, hey, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's kind of odd the 2 times it actually really ever broke, he was standing there with a camera.
I
Or a phone.
I count 3 if you count the time you blew the tire off the bead with your little trick about it.
I'm gonna count 14 then, because we lost like 12 tires that day.
John, blew a tire off the bead.
So when somebody says this is how a redneck puts a tire on a rim, step back, because that means there's gonna be an explosion. Yeah, we literally put too much ether in, didn't have enough oxygen. When we pushed the tire in to try to get oxygen to come in to hit it with the lit stick, it blew a swamper this size off the wheel and down the road, and it was the loudest boom I've heard in 4th of July in a long time.
Well, we had guys from up the hill come down. Yeah. Be like, are you guys okay?
Now I run H1 factory. These are military Hummer wheels that have been recentered, and they're actually like a big giant RC car wheel. There's a 2-piece rim with a PVC pipe that fits in between them that clamps between the bead, and when you tighten it all up, these tires will not come off these wheels. They're heavy. They're definitely heavy. I've been told that each one of these wheels and tires is about 425 pounds. That's a lot on a Dana 60 axle to turn.
All right, well, should we do something?
Probably try to figure out where the motor and training's gonna sit, make sure I got enough clearance. But I was gonna do a little backwoods hillbilly rebuild on the flywheel. It sits so much the clutch sticks to the flywheel, and it'll leave the friction plate on the flywheel. So I gotta clean that up and sand that back off. Damn, that's like going down to Napa and have a turn.
I don't know, but I don't like that bolt. You see how short it was? It had like 2 threads by the time it got on there.
It's fine, it's just the flywheel.
Yeah, just a flywheel. Did you torque that flywheel down on there?
Yeah, why on earth would you ever torque the flywheel down? I mean, so if you would have just ran that like that, look how far you've had to go to get those things to the right torque spec. If you would have just ran that like that, imagine.
These are just good old American good and tights.
Still haven't heard that
Best half-inch ratchet you can ever buy. $14 Harbor Freight. I wouldn't trust building a motor with this.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So old clutch disc, 10.5, new 111. We're gonna find out if it's gonna work.
Oh yeah, way smaller.
You really wouldn't expect anything less from a knot rod build, would you?
Okay.
We needed some way to support the back of the frame, so we came up with the idea of welding tube between the forelinks. Okay, the moment of truth. I think it worked.
Good idea, Ryan.
Can you say that again?
That was a good idea, Brian. Dude, if we were out in the woods, we'd be shoving logs in there. The shock mount's broken or something. We'd be driving logs in there and driving out of the woods.
All right, let's get this motor in. Lock the tire.
I think that one is. Uh-oh.
I think those bars tried to settle some more.
Yeah, that really is as sketchy as it looks.
That bracket's got 6 lags that are 3 inches or 4 inches long going into there, dude. Those are big lags, bro. You think I hung it up there with little baby friggin' bottom strap lags? No.
It's trying to do that.
Yeah, that's what scares me about that shit, is when it pops like that. Hey everyone, it's been a pleasure bringing you content, and we'd love to bring you even more. As I'm sure you all know, building cars isn't cheap, so keeping this content coming ultimately relies on you. So I want to invite you to check out our store and consider purchasing some merchandise. We've got hats, shirts, and hoodies showing off the cars you've come to love, like the Super Sketch Nova and the legendary Studebaker, with more on the way. Thank you so much for your continued support, and enjoy the show.
That should be high enough. I'm kind of thinking if I ever wanted to go out in an accident like that, definitely Titanic cable cut. It'd be cool.
You get cut in half?
Yeah, by cable.
Yeah, I get cut in half and bleed to death. That sounds awesome.
Now that's how you do it, boys and girls.
No, that's not.
No.
Yeah. Anything this way?
Just an engine.
It is 44s. They will go over things.
Okay, yeah, I don't.
Why is you where you're not even underneath it?
Oh, I hate that thing. Oh, there goes the jack.
Oh, we fell off the jack.
Okay, that's good.
If this looks dangerous, that's because it is.
You're gonna need to put a disclaimer on this episode.
Don't try this at home.
These things are big, aren't they? I want to keep a long drive line, but I want the motor shoved back as far as I possibly
I'd put the motor back as far as you
can.
can. Not only will it be easier to get a mechanical fan and everything in, but it will wheel way better having your weight further towards the back. As far as we can, I guess. I don't know, I might actually... Okay.
That's gonna be pretty close, actually. Oh, that's why it let off. It did, it broke a weld over here.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't much to weld on that side. What, didn't you, Nitro? Yeah, this is our shop kitty. Gotta have a shop kitty. Keeps the mice out of the cars. Yeah, he just showed up one day with a broken leg. So I healed him all up, and his first confirmed kill was a hummingbird, and then 2 bats, and then he brought me 3 squirrels, so, and a lot of mice, and a couple rats. So let's just say when I go to bed at night living in the country, I don't hear shit in my walls no more.
Yeah.
That was kind of nice not to hear something scurry across the upstairs.
Amazingly, the front holes for the old crossmember lined up perfectly with where the back holes used to be in the frame. Well, hey, the transmission is holding itself up now, so it's just motor mounts. Yeah.
Oh,
What?
See what it's doing? It's picking up the whole tub. It put a bunch of weight on those bars, and that one's broken. That's lifting up the back of the tub.
Okay, so I guess let's get this straight. We got the cross member in for the tranny. There's no motor mounts. And the bars we put on the 4-links are starting to rip off. Well, I guess you're on your own, John. See you later.
All right.
Nice, guys. Congratulations, you purchased a new clutch. Number 1, this will not fit your application. Number 2, go back to the parts store.
John's the funniest when you first pull up, so I'll just set this right over here. I'm gonna call this segment Story Time with John.
John's show can be called a super sketch show. The super sketch show with John.